if there's one game that's gonna absolutely fail, it's Avowed. And that is honestly kind of sad because at the start I was very hopeful for this game. I was excited because it looked good. I liked the aesthetic. The combat needed a little bit of work, but those were the major issues. But as time passes, now we know that Avowed is, first of all, it's woke shit. Second of all, yeah, at best case scenario, we're getting like a game that's 20% as good as Skyrim or something like that. And I wasn't the biggest fan of Skyrim to begin with. We have seen a couple of dialogue options for Avowed, and all of them are stupid. I mean, blatantly modern day times stupid. You land off the ship and instantaneously, what do you hear? A random adventurer talking to a local. Well, are there any dungeons nearby that I could get loot in? And they're like, oh yeah, you know, that tower right there, you know, 5 centimeters away from us? Yeah, the rumor has that treasures in there and stuff. God, it's gonna be bad. God, it's gonna be bad. And this thing has a $70 price tag from a AA developer, okay? Listen, I honestly feel better paying $90 for an Ubisoft quadruple A development at this point than for Avowed's AA $70 bonanza. It's just not happening.
Matt Hansen severely damaged the image of Avowed if it wasn't for his kicking crusty white dudes out of the gaming industry comments and his attacks on people like Elon Musk. The situation surrounding this game would be very different. I'm sure a lot of people would still be pretty skeptical, but there wouldn't be so much controversy and so many people trashing this game in all of the teasers and trailers. But now, of course, we're finding out that just a few weeks before release, they're seemingly nuking the entire forums and community hub for this game, and we're all trying to figure out what they're really hiding and why they want to silence gamers.
Well, I mean, ain't it obvious? Mommy, please, everyone knows you know. It's the most obvious thing ever, right? Because they know that the view on Avowed is not currently good. $70 AA game with Vogue elements and, you know, well, they did improve combat, which is 10 out of 10. Maybe the combat is going to be enough to carry this game, technically, but at this point it's damaged. It's best case scenario for Avowed currently is that it gets the Indiana Great Circle treatment. Literally a game that's not worth playing. 5 out of 10, but some magically how it's not actually Vogue. Yeah, if you did not know, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, despite the marketing that literally had a guy with 25 fucking different rainbow pins saying this is for modern audiences, does not have wokeness inside of it. Now, there is like a minor detail that you get baited into playing a woman, and that's pretty much peak wokeness that Indiana Jones the Great Circle does. And well, it sold 0 copies because of that. Good stuff.
I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, you would think companies at this point would understand what the Streisand effect is, and that when you try to silence people on one platform, they are going to go to tons of others in order to have their voices be heard. And this is especially the case over the past couple of years with gamers. If you try to silence people.
The Streisand effect, if you don't know, that was Barbara Streisand and she didn't want journalists or anyone to talk about like some kind of home that she had or whatever. And then she demanded that the picture be removed. And because of that, it blew up and everyone knew about it. Effectively the same as Tank Man, because China really wanted that shit suppressed and now pretty much everyone knows or has heard of Tank Man. And, you know, Avowed is kind of, well, with all the Vogue games, they're kind of in the same basket at this point.
from official forums or Reddits. We're going to take to X. We're going to take to YouTube. We're going to take to Instagram. We're going to take to whatever platform people will listen to us on because it is just so disrespectful that companies want to silence their customers. You would think they would have a little bit of respect for us because we are the reasons why they have jobs in the first place, but they don't care about our opinions and they are willing to silence
Wild.
us whenever we say
True.
something that hurts their feelings. And it's just really pathetic all around that so many developers and creatives are so soft hearted. They can't take any.
By the way, imagine how actually unreasonable this type of lifestyle is. Imagine someone woke working in the service industry. It's just over. I mean, we have already seen it. It's like, where do woke people go work if they're poor? And what's wrong with you being woke and fucking poor? You're supposed to be the child of a rich kid, Jesus Christ. Not some kind of poor middle class loser. That's not how woke is supposed to work, okay? Woke is supposed to be the feels good thing of rich kids who have no worth in life, and now they're gonna fight for equality because that sounds easy. Yeah, that's what that's supposed to be. But no, and what is the end result of that in the service industry? Well, they all go to work in Starbucks, and then we have 5 TikToks a day of people breaking down because someone did not appreciate their rainbow pin or some shit.
Any criticism, and when we do criticize them, they take it personally and they cry hatred and harassment. And sure, there's always going to be bad apples in every bunch. There's always going to be people that push the limits with what they say and with what they do, but the majority of people are just normal individuals who want their voices to be heard. And now they are actually nuking their Steam page. So if you go on over to the Steam page, of course, if you scroll down on the bottom right, it says view discussions, and usually this takes you to a hub. You can see people with their different threads and chatting. But now when you click it, it just brings you back to the main store page, which I have never seen this happen.
Nice.
I've seen a lot of companies erase their forums and lock threads and delete posts and go on banning sprees, right? But I've never seen it to this extent. And the game doesn't even come out for another month, which is hilarious because they know that they are
Nice.
going to face so much backlash than they already have. They clearly saw all of the backlash that was already going on, but they figured, okay, we're getting closer to release. There's more normies who are not aware of Gamergate 2 and the culture war looking at this page. So now is the time to wipe it. And you can't even go and leave any comments at this point in time. Now, I'm sure that they will open it back up as we do get closer to release, but maybe they won't. I mean, there is also that
The
chance,
damage
which
is
would
done.
be insane. I've never seen that happen. I've never come across a game that doesn't have like a discussions page or a forum where people can talk about the situation. And I don't think that this is a good look for Xbox, that's for sure, because Obsidian was already taking a lot of heat and people were questioning why Xbox would allow.
Also, currently the word on the street is that Microsoft in general, aka Xbox, is really regretting buying Bethesda and Activision Blizzard. They are really, really regretting these purchases because these purchases, turns out, who would have expected? I know, boys, who would have expected? But get this! These great purchases are not recuperating the investment at all. They're fucking failing miserably. Especially Bethesda. Activision at least can sell a mount for $200. Well, $100, I mean. 200 Ashes of Creation. Okay? But it's not enough. It's not enough. Microsoft is so currently unhappy, the rumor is, with these studios. It's insane.
Allow them to go in this direction, and we already knew why, but it still looks bad because Xbox has had over the past couple of months leaked documents where they have certain guidelines for developers to follow, like, oh, are the women in your game equal to men in strength? Are they in situationally appropriate attire? Like, are they in scantily
Situation the modern day representation of women being inappropriate attire pretty much means they're naked constantly. And if you don't agree with that, you're a bigot and do not encourage women's empowerment. How dare you?
Clad bikini armor, and is that really appropriate for the setting? So there are a lot of guidelines for developers to follow, and Avowed is a game that initially people were pretty excited for because you're talking about Obsidian. It's like with Dragon Age the Veilguard. Before we knew what it was going to be, when they just were talking about it and putting out teasers, we were excited because it was BioWare. But these companies are a shell of the companies they once were, filled to the brim.
I'm pretty sure when we just got teasers about Dragon Age the Veilguard, people were not happy. I remember watching them and I was like, this doesn't look fucking good.
With activists just like Matt Hansen. So I can't say I'm shocked that whoever is behind running the Steam page is trying to silence us, and I'm sure that it's only going to get worse as we get closer to release. Now, basically everybody on the internet that looks at gaming has roasted Matt Hansen and Avowed. I mean, Elon Musk had having pronouns in a fantasy video game is utterly unacceptable, and Grums, aka Mark Kernitz, an art director for Obsidian on Avowed, wants to piss gamers.
Wait, that is actually true because let me explain the thing about that. You're creating a fantasy character. If you're trans, you don't need to be represented as trans because you can just pick the gender that you want. There is no point in pronouns or anything because you're making your character. You transcended your mortal issues with making your character. So these things don't make sense. The fact that they are in games is bad.
Off on purpose and confirms the game is woke. It's very rare nowadays when developers do not do things to piss gamers off. And that's sad to have to sit here and say because I want these devs to do the best job that they can. I want them to come out with really awesome and amazing content, but it's like they want people to be angry at them so they can get some hate clicks, but those never equals sales.
Yeah.
Like all you are doing is pushing away.
It's the same as YouTube, I honestly say, because most of the stuff we cover here is not positive on average. And you know what's the difference? You know what's the difference? I actually check if oh no, I can't. No, I can't actually check. Let me just go in my YouTube search Avowed, and nothing appears. Look. Oh, that's how you spell Avowed. You know what are the most popular Avowed videos that I have? Negative. But those ones were lucky. The real videos were actually the ones that are kind of positive a long time ago. They hit actually harder and they're still getting views. Positive content is always so much better than negative content. That's just the reality of things. And that's sad. That is sad that we're stuck in just this constant shit.
Potential customers by saying you want to do things like kick crusty white dudes out of the video game industry and even admit that you're only hiring certain types of people for jobs.
Yeah, this guy was completely insane, and he's the main designer for Avowed. Shit.
I mean, he had said, reminder to Black artists out there who are looking for portfolio reviews or job advice. My DMs are open and you will always have my priority. We got too many crusty white dudes in this field. Please let me help you replace me one day. I want to go back to living in the woods. He has the opportunity.
If you didn't know, this would sound like satire and someone's making fun, but no, this is a legit opinion. This is sad.
To actually put his money where his mouth is and put actions behind his words, and he could just leave the industry. Nobody would care. Nobody would miss you. Actually, I think I'd miss him a little bit because I love pointing and laughing at idiots. But we also have seen leaked Slack messages exposing the toxic environment at the development studio. I've never been more proud.
Oh, I forgot about these ones. Yeah, again, the Avowed stuff is pretty extensive at this point. Well, actually, it's not that extensive, but it spans a long period of time, yeah. They were just making fun of people who don't like Avowed because it's smoke. It's pretty fucking sad. But, I mean, the game's gonna be a disaster. I don't know how many copies it's gonna sell or how it's gonna look, but at this point, I'm kind of thinking 30-ish K Steam max player count, which is disaster. And we're pretty good at this, by the way. The Dragon Age Railguard numbers came out that it officially has sold only 15% of this estimated sales that they wanted, aka profitability, which, as always, boys, I correctly estimated that was 7 million copies sold. Minimum 5 to be profitable. But it seems like it was 7. And we were exactly right on the money, as always. 10 out of 10, pat ourselves on the backs because called it, boys. Called it once again. It is what it is. Anyway, that was Mommy Very Dark. 10 out of 10. Have a nice day. Bye!